Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Monday, February 5th, and we are starting a brand new week, the first full week of February, and we are delighted to be with you. Remember, this is the program that tries to help you make better financial decisions. It doesn't have to be the best. We're not into optimization. I don't believe in a 2-hour work week. What was the name of that book? It's like the 4-hour work week, something like that. It's nonsense. Anyway, by the way, Mark, I understand from the kids, the youngster, the 20-somethings, that there's like a name for New York. It's called like Work Island, like because all we do in New York is work. So
What?
it's sort of, yeah, I'm not even kidding you. It's like a TikTok thing. I heard that on our friends at the compound. Michael Batnick and Josh Brown were talking about it, and they said something like, there's a thing. It's like, oh, the Gen Z people, they call Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, Work Island. Like, oh, why would I want to go to Work Island?
Oh, my God.
Okay, I knew I got a little rise out of you. I got to keep you current, baby. And I was only current because I was listening to The Compound and Friends. And you should do that also. And you should check out our YouTube show, which is called Jill on Money, powered by The Compound. This is our video show. It is so much fun. So you can check that out. And also, if you want all the information about all the content we create, go to JillOnMoney.com. And if you've got a question, just hit the Contact Us button. Okay, today we're talking to Tony, who's on the line from Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, Tony, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? Been a couple of years now.
Yeah, so you're a recidivist caller and emailer. So what's going on? Why did you get in touch with us initially, and then what can we do today?
Initially, I was feeling burned out on the travel in my job and looking to see if I was able to step away at 55. Been a listener for about 3 years now, and this is my 2-year checkup after that call.
What did I tell you? Did I tell you that you could leave or not?
You said I was okay,
Oh,
but
boy. I hope I was
still
right.
you were against me paying off my house,
And?
which I did. I did it anyways.
God dang it, Tony! Wait a second. Hold on a second. What was the interest rate on that house?
I think it was 2.9.
You know what? I'm calling a personal foul on you right now.
Go for it.
Okay. Absolutely calling a personal foul. How much did you pay that off? Like, what was the lump sum to pay off?
I think at the time I only owed like 150 left.
Yeah, because you probably, just to be clear, in 2 years you could have been in CDs and made more than 2.9%. But okay, let's move on. You now have a paid off house.
My soul is free. I have no debt, and not my house.
Dude,
I owe nobody nothing.
Your liability side might be zero, but your soul, I don't know. I'm not going to be the judge of that. Tell me what else is going on. So, are you still working on the burnout job?
I am. I'm traveling, and I think what it is the freedom. At 55, will I have the freedom to do anything I want? And I don't think it'll be nothing, but I just want to continue to confirm. I think as I get closer, I turned 51 in November, so I am literally 4 years away, and I guess just want to make sure I'm going to be okay.
Tony, are you a solo Tony, or is there a
Nope.
Mr. or Mrs. Tony?
I am married. My wife is 7.5 years younger than me, so I did it right.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. But
No, she
I want to
didn't.
make sure that
She's married to
I'm
a
able
bust out who's going to stop working at 55. Does she work?
She does, yes.
How much does she make?
She makes 90.
Okay. And how much are you earning now, Tony?
165.
You guys have kids?
Both have launched, doing well. Tried
Great.
college, did not work out, and they're good and not coming home. So
Wow, that's amazing. And how much is the house worth?
900.
Wow. Going to stick around in that? Like, if in 4 years, is that like, oh, I'm staying in this house, or you're going to go someplace?
No, I think the goal is to buy some land and to build. I think we want to buy something, put something small on it, and then build the house that we want, and then have that second house for a backup for parents.
That's
for later
Wow.
times.
So is that something that's available to you in your area? In other words, is that like a pipe dream, or do you have to go way outside of Nashville? Like, what happens to do that?
You have to go out. I mean, you have to go about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour out. But that's something that we're okay with.
Okay.
My wife, I travel, and my wife works from home 3 days a week. So
okay.
you know,
So it's doable.
It's not the end of the world to to drive in a couple days a week.
Okay. I get you. So let's deal with some of the assets first. I want to get back to this, how we do the house thing. So right now, are you both making retirement plan contributions?
Yes, we are both maxing out.
Okay. And how much money do each of you have in your plans? And do me a favor, give me the pre-tax and the Roth if you have it.
I mean, as a total number, it's 1.1 in 401k and IRAs. Of that, 160 is Roth.
Okay, got
And
it.
currently everything we are putting in is Roth.
Okay. So that's retirement accounts. What about
Yes.
non-retirement accounts?
I have the deferred comp
Hmm.
of about 540,000 that pays out upon termination or leaving.
Hmm.
And then non-retirement, we have cash of 50,000 and a brokerage of about 75,000.
Okay. So can we go back to the deferred comp for a second so I understand what the rules are on that? Okay. So let's presume you somehow get to your magic 55 number. How is that money, that 540, is it delivered as a lump sum to you?
Unfortunately, I think all but 75,000 will be lump summed.
Hmm.
And so I want to
Okay.
retire probably January, February, because I will take a huge tax hit on. It'll
Uh-huh.
probably pay out 420. Well, I mean, today it would be 420 to 450 would pay,
And that's all taxable, right?
and that's all taxable, correct?
And there's no way to dribble it out.
There's a huge penalty. Well,
Uh,
it's a time penalty if I want to change it to the 15-year payout. There's a time
mm.
penalty.
I'm probably thinking what you're thinking, which is, it would be great if I could like move it one more year or spread it out from 55 to 60. But okay, it sounds like that's not happening. Okay, it's 4 years from now. And what happens with your wife's income? Will she also scale back or will she continue to work?
Um, she sounds like 70-30. Like I think she wants to do. It's not that we don't want to work. I said I think we want to do less. And so when
Okay.
I asked her last week, and I said, okay, when I step away, are you going to step away? Or are you going to keep working?
Mm.
She's like, I think I'm going to step away too. So
Okay. So from your age 55 to your age 65, what's the game plan for health insurance? Go to do the Affordable Care Act or work enough hours someplace to get health care?
the company I work with, that's one of the benefits is I've been here long enough that I qualify for their retirement insurance, so I get to stay
Mm,
on their plan at their rates for until I go to Medicare.
that's
So it's a pretty
awesome.
good
So
deal.
you get those 10 years. We have to worry about your wife for the end of, you know what I mean? Because to account for the
Right.
7 years, but we'll deal with it, right? We'll see where we
Yep.
are. So let's say it's you're 55 to I'm going to call it 65. What should I count on in terms of between the two of you? It doesn't have to be all or none, but like you make over a couple 100,000 now. Like, what do you think you guys would earn together?
I would say on the low ball would be 50,000 is what I
Okay.
put on paper.
Okay. And without your mortgage, what do you estimate your expenses are?
Currently, we don't hold back much, but we're not spenders. Our current budget's 7,000 a month. It could be 3,900 if we buckled up, but
What?
you know,
What do you mean? Where's that extra 3 grand going?
like my allowance is probably $1,000 a month. Her allowance for what she wants to shop and do is $1,000 a month, and then just house stuff.
That's weird. You just said the word allowance. I don't know why that like struck me as weird.
Well, because I don't want to judge where she spends her money, or the same thing. It's like you spend it on anything you want. You want to buy, Rolos? Go ahead. It's like
So you each take some amount of money that's like your screw off money. You do whatever you want with it. Each of you do
correct,
that. Okay, I got it.
correct.
Because it made it sound like, oh, you were giving her, but you agreed
No, no,
upon it.
not at all.
Okay,
No,
okay.
it's whatever. So we're not judged. We're not
All
judging
right.
each other.
I
It's like
got
buy
you.
whatever you want.
Okay. So if 7,000 a month is rich, what's the right number? Is it six?
It's probably 5,500.
5,500?
$5,000 would be pushing it, and would
Let
be.
let's
I
say
guess what I've found is when we get to that level
mm,
for what we make and what we've done and how well I think we've done,
mm-hmm.
it makes us. It's almost punishing ourselves. I
Yeah.
think we need
So
to live now and live later.
let's say 6 grand then. Let's just do 6 grand a month. That would be our expense number. So right now, tell us about how you're saving, you're maxing out for your retirement plan. Are you also putting money into the brokerage account actively?
Yes,
How much are you putting into the brokerage account?
about 2,000 a month.
Hmm,
That just is extra money that I just throw at it.
that's great. Has that been happening for a while or
Since I
like
paid off the house, so we paid off the
Mhm.
house in I think late 22.
Okay. So I'm sort of thinking out loud here. If Tony is going to retire in 4 years and already has, let's just call it $1 million in pre-tax and the 160 in Roth, there's cash, there's brokerage. Considering that you want to step down early, I feel like it might be better for you to not put as much money into your retirement account and put it into your brokerage account because you are going to need it. So I know that you say you're going to have the deferred comp, right? So the deferred comp, if we say, what's the state income tax in Tennessee?
There is no state income
There
tax.
isn't. So if we get 550, okay, are you still actively contributing to the deferred comp?
No, I think when you and I talked, we talked about the brokerage and continuing to build a fund out of that. I went
So
straight Roth from there, and
okay.
like I want to leave something inheritance to the kids, and I really want to convert everything to Roth, honestly.
Yeah, you don't have to. I don't think you're going to need to do that. It's going to be easier for you to. So okay, here's what I think is the. Let's look at this as a basic game plan. Okay, so in 4 years, you're both done, but between the two of you, you make 50. We know that you need. Let's just say we need another 40 grand out of the account. Maybe it's 35, but whatever. You need your $72,000 a year net in expenses, right? I'm going to make it 75 grand. So we need 25 grand a year from the net proceeds of the deferred comp, right? You're going to have 350, so we'll have 75 grand a year for 4 years. I'm not inflation
Right,
adjusting this, right? So this kind of gets us there, right? Because it's close. You can't go crazy investing this money, obviously. You know what I mean? Because we need 300 of the 350. So, you could do something. We'll have to see when you actually are retiring and what the environment is and whether you should buy CDs or buy some laddered bonds. But of that 350, 300 is going to be used to plug your cash flow hole. Unless you're making more than you think. You know what I mean? But
right.
let's pretend for all intents and purposes, let's pretend that of the 350, you burn up 300 by the time you get to, say, you're 60 years old. How does that feel?
It leads me to one of my other questions, and I listen to you on a regular basis, obviously, and
Mm.
you went off on you don't rant, but you went off on a rant on
Uh-oh.
Social Security at 62
Yeah.
a couple weeks back,
Yeah.
and
It's
what you
bad.
said was like you guys have to stop taking it at 62. Can you help me understand? Because the calculators that I use, I
Hmm.
mean, it doesn't seem to make that big of a
Here's
difference. Is it a
it.
different philosophy that I'm missing?
Well, are you in terrible health?
I mean, I have an autoimmune disease, but I don't think that's terrible.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's manageable. So,
Okay. So the deal is, sorry that you have that. First of all, that sucks. The deal about Social Security is when you take it at 62, you get a 25% reduction for life. So it's just a rotten deal. If we get you to age 67, your full retirement age, then you've got a higher base on which you get a cost of living adjustment every year. And for you guys, it's going to be important that Social Security is going to be important to you. I feel like, for 4, 5, 6 years, you're fine, right? So if you get to age 55, you know that you can get to 62 probably on the deferred comp, right? But then we have 62 to 67, and we need to know what's going to happen for those 5 years. And for you, you might say, well, if I take Social Security, it'll be fine. But if you live to like 76 or something, it's a terrible deal. If you die quickly, it's a great deal. But it doesn't sound like that's you. It's like, and you both and especially with a younger wife, it is far more important to maximize the amount of money that you have coming in from the Social Security system, mostly because it's no risk. So I guess that from looking at where you are, I think that your game plan can work because the deferred comp gets you through, well, I don't know, 55 to 62, let's call it. Okay. You burn that through. At age 62, you still have your $1 million of retirement, which is now more, right? It's like you said 1.1, maybe it's 1.5. Okay. Some of it is pre-tax. So from the age of say 62 to 67, instead of converting it now and using your cash, I would just plan to say from 62 to 67, I will slowly pull money out of my pre-tax retirement. I'll pay the tax due on it. You'll be in a low tax bracket. I mean, even if tax brackets do sunset and go to other levels, you're only making 50 grand a year. So I think that that's a good time to start saying, I'm concerned that if you take your money, when you retire, if you take all that deferred comp and then just convert everything, you're sort of stuck in a game plan. Whereas you could dribble the money out of your pre-tax retirement account from 62 to 67 and you'll get the money out. It'll be the same difference, except you will actually have the money come out before Social Security kicks in. And I think that'll probably get you pretty close. There's one wah in this whole scenario. And let me just say what it is. The idea of buying land and building the house that you want, 45 minutes to an hour outside of where you live, is a game plan that is workable if you have the equity from your house. It is not a game plan where you maintain a $900,000 house. It would be really tough to build a case of how it could work for you to have all the money that you have, using that for your cash flow when you're looking ahead, but then dipping into that to build the second home and maintaining the primary. So could you live with building your land and your house after selling your $900,000 asset? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think the plan is there's two ideas. One is to go buy the land now and then decide what we want to do. Two would be to buy the land, go ahead and sell, put a manufactured home on the land, something nice that the parents can move into later on, live there for a year as we build. So really, we would have a lot of open cash, but we would be using it to build. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't want to maintain both.
Yeah, okay.
My primary and build, that wouldn't be the plan at all. Mm-hmm. It's either buy the land and wait. And I guess that was one of my questions is like, if I wanted to do that, would I want to do a HELOC or do something silly like that?
No, you screwed me because I want my 150 grand back, don't I? Because you had 150 grand and you paid it off. You paid off a 2.9% loan. What's a HELOC now?
I have one sitting there that I've never used. It's at 9%, but it's silly. Yeah.
So you see why the whole paying off feels good in the moment, but now we're not going to do that. Okay. Tell me about the parents who are like, how old are they? What's going on for them?
They are near, I think her mom is semi-retired. This is my wife's side, and her dad is going to retire. I think he's 62 and wants to work till he's 65, and they live in Florida. They don't need us per se. They can probably live in Social Security. But having the house there, whether it's for my mom who's 72, or her parents, like, I don't want to carry the two properties. So having a second house on the property for maybe kids someday, grandkids, visitors, I don't know. If we can buy our dream estate, why not have both properties?
I don't know. I do not know if that is the smartest thing. I'll tell you what I think. I think not buying it right now makes more sense. Let's see what happens with your in-laws. Let's see what happens with all these older generation. I feel like we're making a game plan with with a few too many open unknowns that will be knowable or at least more knowable in 4 years. Don't you think? Like that we'll just have more information. So I would rather wait and not do anything. I mean, look, you're going to tell me, well, real estate prices are going up. Nashville's so hot. Okay. If something fabulous were to come along, I guess, of course, that's also a reason to kind of skip the retirement contributions and build up the brokerage account so that you have more access to cash that has already been taxed. So if that's really a possibility, like, oh my God, I have friends in the industry, I have to be ready to pounce. Yeah. Okay.
No,
Right.
no, no.
But
I'm in no rush.
all
So
right.
I could buy this year, I could buy in 4 years. I'm not in a rush to buy that, but that is the plan.
Okay. I think as long as you're flexible, I think that this plan is doable. I also think that if possible, if your 50 grand between the two of you turn into 75, mm, things look a lot better for you.
Should I worry about RMDs? Because these calculators scare the heck out
Well,
of me with
no, because
RMDs.
you're going to retire early. You can pull the money out as you have until 75 to get money out of there, and you're going to need some money. So I wouldn't worry about it because you're going to actually have the money in the account, and you're going to you're going to use the deferred comp for some combination of buying your land, living, okay, and then you're going to be able at some point when you're 60, 62, you'll start pulling money out of your pre-tax account every year. And if you took out $100,000 a year, then you're going to pull money out of there for 10 years. You'll be fine. But again, you have till 75 before RMDs would kick in for you. So I don't see why you should be afraid of that. You can manage that process. You will not be dictated by the government. I'm very clear about that. And so, that's the only benefit of retiring early. Do you have your estate documents done?
I am working on that now. So I've met with the lawyer last week. So
all right, we're going to let you go. I'm going to stop beating you up. You're a good guy. I think you're going to be able to do it. Just be careful, okay? Give us a holler back if you have questions. Promise.
Absolutely. Thank you guys
all right.
again.
Tony from Nashville, gang. Are you going to pay off a 2.9? Don't you wish you had that money back? It's that's where we run into issues. It's never. It doesn't seem like a big deal until something changes, and in the rates or in life, having money and having liquidity is so great. It's just like it will soothe everything. Anyway, if you've got a question about this, you're approaching retirement, you're burnt out, you're traveling too much, you're a Tony, you're not a Jill or a Mark, sitting on your asses in front of a screen in your apartment, which we know we're very lucky that we do, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you want to come on the air. Sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Very happy about that. And don't forget to subscribe to Jill on Money Live. $35. You're locked in for 2024, gang. For $35, you'll have access to quarterly live webinars, more special bonus content. Ooh, we got some interesting interviews that are cooking. Don't forget to subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And don't forget, please do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.